Can a police officer swear to uphold the law, be involved in illegal business, and be part of a corrupt mafia? What would happen if someone openly murders that cop? Yeah, this is the shocking tale of a San Antonio cop, Julian Pessina, assassinated on May 4, 2014. A stunning twist has emerged in the case of the murder of Julian Pessina, leaving many in disbelief. The court documents reveal that Pesina was allegedly involved with the Mexican Mafia, a notorious criminal organization known for its brutality and violence. His murder was believed to be a targeted attack by the same gang, but now it seems that Pesina himself was a member. As we dig deeper into this story, we'll unravel the mystery surrounding this betrayal and the potential consequences of getting caught. Stay tuned to this video to learn more about this shocking development that raises questions about the integrity of law enforcement and the dangers of getting involved with criminal gangs. Julian Pesina was more than just a patrol cop in Balcones Heights. He was a man with an amazing side hustle in Texas. He owned a tattoo shop, Notorious Ink. On this particular day, as usual, he had spent his day off inking up clients. As the day came to a close and the shop was ready to be shut down, Pesina's friend noticed something off about him. Pesina had recently seen his daughter, which should have been a cause for celebration, but instead, he seemed agitated and nervous, frequently glancing at his phone. Despite his friend's concerns, Pesina said his goodbyes and sent him off into the night, alone. Pesina knew that something wasn't right. His paranoia had saved him before, but he couldn't have imagined that the danger was so close. Over the past few days, members of the Texas Mexican Mafia, or Mexikanemi, had dug a grave for him in the south-central Texas wilderness. They were after him, and he had no idea. As he locked up Notorious Ink and headed home, Pesina was completely unaware of the grave danger he was in. The only thing standing between him and certain death was his paranoia, but that wasn't going to be enough for much longer. Even though Texas is known for its no-nonsense approach to cop killers, there was one police killer who had made enemies so determined to take him out that they were willing to risk a public assassination. Julian Pesina, the owner of Notorious Ink, a tattoo parlor in San Antonio, had crossed paths with the Mexikanemi. Despite the risks, the Mexikanemi's leaders were dead set on revenge, and what followed was a heinous crime that would shock the community. This is a story of a man whose double life ultimately led to his tragic demise. But before we go into the details of the shocking murder of Pesina, let's have a quick overview of the dangerous world of the Mexikanemi gang. How was Pesina entangled in this syndicate of violence and corruption? How he lived on both sides of the law. But as you'll soon discover, he wasn't the only one harboring secrets. Take a step back in time to the 1980s, where Heriberto Herbie Huerta decided to create the Texas Mexican Mafia, or Mexikanemi. Initially, he attempted to pass the gang off as a religion based on Aztec culture, but this pretense was soon dropped. The gang's constitution has remained largely unchanged since its inception, outlining its purpose as being soldiers of Aztlan, who work to advance benefits for their families, race, and future generations of Mexicans. It also includes provisions for making money through any means necessary, including drugs, murder contracts, robberies, extortion, and prostitution. The Mexikanemi has a paramilitary structure, with officers ranging from generals to prospects and associates. However, one thing that remains constant is Huerta's role as president for life, while Benito Alonso serves as lifelong vice president. The gang controls the city, dividing it into four corners for the north, south, east, and west sides of town, each led by a general who reports to the main general in charge of the entire city. The Mexikanemi's control over the drug trade is so significant that drug dealers in San Antonio must pay an extortion tax of 10% or $100 per ounce. Those who refuse to pay are given one more chance before the gang moves to violence. However, the gang's violent tendencies are well documented, with members involved in one of the most brutal crimes in San Antonio's history, the French Place Massacre, where 5 people were murdered. Despite numerous convictions and the execution of Perez, one of the gang's generals, the Mexikanemi remains a powerful criminal organization both inside and outside the prison system. Members who achieve a certain rank in prison and are subsequently released are stripped of that rank and must prove themselves to the gang's presiding general or high-ranking officer to be accepted in the outside world. The inverse is also true, with members losing rank if they're sent back to prison. This method offers the benefits of an extra security layer for scrutinizing members, while retaining the centralized leadership of Huerta and Alonso. The Mexikanemi follows the pattern of being separate but interconnected. However, despite thorough vetting, there's always a chance of some loophole, which is where Julian Pessina comes in. Julian Pessina had a life of internal conflicts. He was fascinated by organized crime and had close family members who were associated with the Mexikanemi gang. In fact, he looked more like a Mexikanemi member than a cop, with tattoos on his body that referenced the gang. Pessina even dealt heroin and meth in the same community where he was arresting people for similar crimes. In February 2014, the Mexikanemi had determined Pessina was in fact a member and placed his name on rosters that were distributed to Mexican army officers in San Antonio. Pessina worked under Sergeant Jerry Idrogo, who had committed murder and proved himself as a valuable member. Idrogo started taking Pessina with him to collect dime payments around the north side. Pessina's role was to provide security for Idrogo, in case someone resisted making their payment. As Idrogo's helper, Pessina was not allowed to have a phone call during dime collection. Pessina was not a double agent, nor was he operating any kind of deep cover mission for either the Mexikanemi or law enforcement. He was a man who lived and worked as an officer, but went out of his way to become a henchman for the strongest and most violent gang in the city where he worked. Pessina was aware that the risks were enormous, especially if the FBI found him out as a Mexikanemi member. In April 2014, both the FBI and the Mexican Mafia had discovered Pessina's drug-dealing secrets, and they were in a race to deal with him first, unaware of each other's plans. The FBI's investigation into Pessina began in September 2013, when a heroin dealer was arrested, and his phone was seized, which contained texts from Pessina about drug transactions and contacts with known Texas Mexican Mafia members. FBI Special Agent Marty Martinez was convinced that the Julian in the phone was Pessina, and he was determined to root him out. Meanwhile, the FBI installed a secret camera outside the Notorious Ink to monitor Pessina's activities. Despite all the evidence against Pessina, the FBI chose not to inform the Balcones Heights Police Department about him, and the chief of police was kept out of the loop. Authorities later moderated this lapse, but it raised questions about how deep the corruption ran. Pessina had been working undercover for years. He had been careful, but one day during a drug deal, everything changed. Meeting with a drug dealer named Vicky accused him of being a police officer. It was shocking, as Idrogo grew suspicious about Pessina, and he also wanted to rise in the ranks of the Mafia, and eliminating Pessina was the perfect opportunity for him to show his loyalty. The Mexikanemi found out about Pessina's involvement in law enforcement after viewing his Facebook page, and tasked Idrogo to take him down. Idrogo enlisted the help of two hitmen, Alfredo Freddy Lo Cardona and Jesse Santibanez, to take Pessina's life. On the night of the murder, several things went wrong, but the hitman managed to kill Pessina and escape. The investigation into Pessina's death led to the arrests of the hitmen, but the shocking discovery that Pessina had been exposed as a cop is a reminder that in the criminal world, there's no room for mistakes, and trust is always a luxury. One wrong move could cost everything, and even the most trusted partners could turn on you for their own benefit. Thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about this video, and also like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all of our latest content. See you in the next video.